Welcome to World Insight. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. The term rare earth elements is actually a bit misleading. Despite the name, these elements aren't especially rare in the Earth's crust. There are 17 metals in this group, including neodymium and dysprosium, and they're found scattered across the planet, often mixed in with other minerals. The real challenge lies in extracting and refining them. These processes are not only expensive and technically demanding, but also come with significant environmental costs, from toxic waste to habitat destruction. Yet, rare earths are the hidden drivers of modern technology. They're essential in everything from smartphones and electric vehicles to advanced military hardware and renewable energy systems. Their unique magnetic, luminescent, and catalytic properties make them irreplaceable in high-tech applications, powering the devices and machines that define our era. Without rare earths, the devices and green technologies we rely on every day, like smartphones, wind turbines, and LED lights, would simply not exist or function as efficiently. Electric cars, wind turbines, and even energy-efficient lighting all depend on these elements to work at their best, making them vital for a sustainable future. As the world races to meet ambitious climate goals and transition to cleaner energy, demand for rare earths is skyrocketing, turning their supply into a matter of national security for many countries. Any nation that controls these resources wields immense strategic power, influencing everything from global trade to military strength. A disruption in rare earth supply would ripple through global industries, halting production in sectors from defense to clean energy, and affecting millions of lives. This quiet but critical reliance on obscure metals has turned mineral deposits into a new front in global competition, with countries racing to secure their own supplies. Control over rare earths is now a contest for global influence, shaping alliances and rivalries. And it's no longer just a matter of economics. The stakes have never been higher, as the world's future increasingly depends on these remarkable elements. To break free from China's grip, the US turned to Australia, its Pacific ally. In October 2025, a landmark $12 billion agreement was signed, aiming to build a secure, independent rare earth supply chain. Both nations pledged $1 billion each to jumpstart joint mining and, crucially, processing projects, where China's dominance is strongest. A minimum price floor was set to protect Western producers from Chinese price manipulation and attract private investment. This was a strategic move, recognizing that national security sometimes trumps free market principles. The deal also tied into broader security cooperation, like the AUKUS Pact for nuclear submarines. Australia, with vast reserves, positioned itself as the West's reliable source, aiming to end uncomfortable dependencies. This alliance marked the West's boldest step yet to secure the materials powering its future. China's dominance in rare earths is no accident. It's the result of decades of strategic investment and state support. Over the years, China has meticulously planned and executed its strategy to become the global leader in this critical sector. By 2025, China mined 70% of the world's rare earths, but more importantly, it controlled 90% of the crucial processing stage. This near monopoly has given China unparalleled influence over the global supply chain. Even Western-mined ores often end up in Chinese refineries, creating deep global dependency. This dependency extends beyond just raw materials to the advanced technologies that rely on these elements. China's edge comes from government backing, early lax regulations, and relentless acquisition of expertise. These factors have allowed China to outpace its competitors significantly. The country built a formidable talent pool and technological lead, making it nearly impossible for rivals to catch up quickly. This has cemented China's position as the dominant player in the rare earth market. China has used this leverage before, halting exports to Japan in 2010 and sending shockwaves through global markets. This move highlighted the geopolitical power China wields through its control of rare earths. Despite years of warnings, the world's advanced economies remain tethered to Chinese supply lines. Efforts to diversify sources have been slow and challenging. This dependency is now a major national security vulnerability for the US and its allies. The strategic importance of rare earths cannot be overstated. The rare earth market is no longer just about commerce, it's about power. Control over these resources translates to significant geopolitical influence. Breaking free from China's grip is proving far harder than anyone hoped. The path to independence in rare earths is fraught with economic and political challenges. As the US-Australia deal took shape, China struck back with new export controls, tightening its grip on rare earth technology and processed materials. This was a clear warning. China could weaponize its dominance at any moment, but China didn't stop there. It doubled down on innovation, filing dozens of patents and launching new research projects. The China Institute of Rare Earths ramped up talent recruitment and industrial R&D, widening the technological gap. China's breakthroughs in processing efficiency and advanced applications, like high-performance magnets and rare earth aluminum conductors, raised the bar for competitors. The West now faced a moving target. China was already building the supply chain of the future. To compete, the US and Australia would need to match not just China's output, but its relentless pace of innovation. The race was no longer just about supply. It was about who would lead the next era of technology. Realizing the challenge of matching China head-on, the US opened a new front Central Asia. In late 2025, the US launched a major push to secure mineral access in Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and neighboring republics. This region, long under China's Belt and Road influence, suddenly became a battleground for resources. The US offered investment, technology, and access to Western markets, aiming to create a new supply chain outside China's reach. Deals included a $1.1 billion tungsten partnership in Kazakhstan, and massive mineral purchases from Uzbekistan. The US also backed new transport routes to bypass Russian and Chinese infrastructure, but the region's landlocked geography, political instability, and entrenched Chinese and Russian ties make progress slow and uncertain. Central Asian nations must balance old alliances with new opportunities. America's pivot is bold, but it's just the start of a long, complex game. The outcome will shape the next chapter of global resource competition. Despite big promises, the US-Australia pipeline quickly hit major obstacles. China's decades of investment and expertise dwarfed the West's $12 billion plan. Building a full supply chain takes time, skilled workers and regulatory support, things the West lacks after years of offshoring. China's export controls rattled markets, exposing the fragility of Western efforts. Meanwhile, China kept innovating, staying several steps ahead in technology and efficiency. Western ventures faced high costs, strict regulations, and fierce price competition from China. A critical skills gap slowed progress as the West struggled to rebuild lost expertise. The reality breaking China's rare earth dominance is a marathon, not a sprint. As of November 2025, the rare earth race is more intense than ever, but China's grip remains unbroken. Despite mounting global pressure and new alliances, China's dominance is the result of decades of careful planning and investment. The US-Australia alliance and Central Asian pivot are serious efforts, but China's control of 90% of processing is still the linchpin. These new players are making progress, but the scale and sophistication of China's infrastructure are unmatched. China's proactive, long-term strategy keeps it ahead, not just as a supplier, but as the innovator of high-value products. Its scientists and engineers have built a robust ecosystem, turning raw materials into the world's most advanced components. Even if the West finds new sources, it still depends on Chinese technology for advanced magnets and materials. The expertise and manufacturing know-how required to compete at scale are not easily replicated. The US faces a steep climb. Success will require massive investment, public-private partnership, and rebuilding lost expertise. Reviving domestic industries is a generational challenge, not a quick fix. Australia and Central Asia are important first steps, but not a solution on their own. They offer new sources, but lack the processing and technological depth China commands. This is a contest fought with patents, infrastructure, and knowledge, not armies. Intellectual property and technical expertise are the real battlegrounds in this global competition. China's patience and foresight have paid off. The West is now playing catch-up. Years of strategic investment have given China a commanding lead that won't be easy to close. Control over these elements will shape the future of technology and the green economy. Whoever leads in rare earths will influence everything from clean energy to national security. For now, Beijing still holds the keys, and the world is watching to see who will unlock the next chapter.